Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys. We are back. We are here. Mr. Puma.
I can't believe it, but we're back.
We are here, live and well.
Live and in color, baby.
Now, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, speaking of the YouTube, we've been having a little issues with the YouTube channel. We were actually told, Len was saying, you know what, maybe we should make a video for the audience and say, hey, just so you know, we might be switching the page, letting people know that we'll still be on YouTube, but we need to beat this algorithm.
Yeah, we got to, it's like Doctor Strange. We have to find another dimension, you know, and we're still each other. Maybe I've won 10 more championships in that dimension, but we're going to switch over to another channel, and we just want to let all our viewers know, that we're not going anywhere. I'm not leaving.
We've been putting out a lot of content on social media in general, and the YouTube page, because of, I guess, for whatever reason, we were blowing up so hard, getting so many views on there, that it looks like we got some sort of shadow ban. I mean, all we're doing is putting out fantasy football content. We're not talking about propaganda or something like that.
No, never.
And we're putting out good content too.
Yes, quality.
We nailed so many things from 2024 or 2025. I'm sorry.
Yeah, feels like that.
So
yes, 25.
So remember, we might be switching platforms or the YouTube channel. So if you know, or any of you have any experience with that, tell us. Are we shadow banned? Do you still see us on your page? Like, we're going to make sure that you do see more of us because we have a lot of content coming in for 2026.
Yeah, new year, new us, a new channel. But, the quality stays the same. And we're always going to bring that to you. So let's jump into it, my friend.
And we're trying to get more and more. So remember, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike Meals.
Joey Puma.
We are your hosts. Today, look, we start 2026 talking about the top fantasy performers. This is the Fantasy Football Awards. We're going to go over a couple of different categories.
Yes.
Me and Puma selected a few people that we thought were notable nominees.
Yes. They, you know what? They played their you-know-what's off, and they should be dignified, and we're going to put them on a pedestal for you guys today and see if you agree with us. Put a like in the comments, or if you disagree, say what you got to say.
And before we get into it all, Puma, so how did you end up doing on all your fantasy leagues? For the most part, I know you were in the playoffs in a lot of them.
Right, I was in the playoffs. I did not finish as a champion of 2025. It's okay, listen, you play long enough. I've been playing 20 plus years. You have these years, so we just pick up where we left off. But my main message is to everyone is that during this playoff time, or when you're eliminated from the fantasy playoffs, keep watching. Yeah, always keep watching.
Absolutely.
Because you never know how a team's going to finish the year, and then that person could bounce into 2026 and be a starter.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of coaching changes. There might be injuries and stuff happen in the playoffs.
So still be aware in the news.
And on top of the NFL playoffs, you have the college playoffs, NCAA.
Right, so you see all the new draft picks coming in. You got a couple of quarterbacks battling tonight. That can be first two picks of the 2026 draft.
Huge
so
game.
They will play into the year just like a Jackson Dart did,
yep,
a Cameron Ward did, Shador Sanders did, whether you liked it or not. But they all had a hand in this past year.
And they're all going to have a hand in our future championship teams. I went to the championship in 3 leagues. Some of them I busted in. Some I did pretty good. But 3 leagues, went to the championship, lost every single one. It was a heartbreaking. This is actually the Fantasy Wise Guys trophy. Me and Puma both did not win this league this year. But Mr. Sri Lanka, Brett Moore, look, as you guys can see, this is what the Fantasy Football trophy looks like. Puma's got one of these in his house.
I should have 2 of them. I should
we should backtrack and go back.
Be like, you owe me another one of those.
Well, look, if you got fantasy leagues, I think that it's important that you have some sort of prize.
You need to give some hardware.
Yeah, the money's great. Money's everything, of course. But I mean,
nothing's like showing people when they come over to the house and they say, oh, you won this nice trophy. And I'm like, yeah, I should have 2. But, this... it looks very nice.
Great conversation starter.
Exactly.
Now, some of the guys we're going to name today are going to get a trophy of their own. Like, let's say maybe like a Puka Nacua or CMC. We're going to make one of these and send it to them. No, I'm just kidding.
Imagine.
They would be like, what the hell is this? I mean, I hope they would take it with some pride.
I think they would. I think that our knowledge and our recommendations, I think they'd love it.
Did you ever see Michael Bublé talk about how he would trade in his Grammys
yes.
for fantasy football trophy?
Yes, I saw that. And you know what? It means a lot to people, us including. I mean, that's why we have a show, of course. But like you said, right? Money is great. But it's just knowing that you climb the mountaintop. I've known people I've played with for 15 plus years and they've never won. That's how hard it is. So that's why I am humbled as well. You know, I've been there 11 times. So, you know,
Who's counting?
Yeah, I got the pitch count. But no, you always take it. You're being grateful because it takes skill to get through the season, my friend, but it takes luck to win one of these.
Yeah, it takes a little luck in
and
the championship for sure. And then, you know, honestly, I couldn't agree with Bublé. I couldn't agree with you. A fantasy football trophy is something about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a collaborative effort from yourself and
achievement.
And your team. Like, you get really close with these guys. I know it seems
you feel like they're your guys.
Yeah, they do. And by one point, you know, everybody probably in your house has heard you yell and scream and bitch and moan. But
especially your loved one.
It's for the love of the game, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the guys that made us happiest this fantasy football season. So the fantasy-wise guys, fantasy football awards. Who we start with? What do we start with?
We are starting with Puka Nacua, one of the best performances of the year. That was week 16, Mike. He had 46.5 points. PPR, of course. That's the standard. He had 12 receptions, 225 yards, 2 tutties. It was that Thursday night game.
Oh, I'll never forget
epic
it.
game. I think it's the game of the year between the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. We were coming off some controversy with Mr. Puka Nacua, not even 24 hours later. You had no Devontae Adams active. And this was a game that was really controlled by the Rams, and then Seattle just took it from them at the end. But if we're talking about individual fantasy performances of the year, Puka Nacua, Pukachu, that was a great
That was probably the best weekly performance of the year. And now you had some other
receiver.
So let's go over the other candidates real quick before we talk about the winner. You had Derrick Henry in championship week 17.
Right.
45.6 points, 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 tutties. Oof. Kyle Pitts, week 15. That was the first week of the playoffs. 45.6, 11 for 166 and 3. And then you had Jahmyr Gibbs, week 12, which was a pretty important week towards the end of the season. 55.4 points. He had 219 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 11 receptions, and another touchdown in the air. I mean, these were some big performances. But I think, the Puka Nacua one, even the Derrick Henry one, those to me stand out the most.
Yes.
Because of how important and
it carried your team. You know, at the moment, you could make really good justification for the King because it's in the playoffs. But I believe you got to get there first.
Yeah, totally.
So you have to be put in the position. For me, you know where I stand.
No, Puka Nacua for sure. Like, he took people to championships. He was the second most rostered player in all championship teams. So Puka Nacua, I had him that game in one of my leagues. And you know, you're in that league with me. I had Puka and JSN battling back and forth.
JSN had like nothing at
hand. Dude, I was with Len and Justin. I was with you guys that night, on that Thursday night. Remember, I was crying at Tommy's Tavern. I'm like, oh my God, they don't even have 10 points at halftime. This is horrible. And then by the end of the game, they had 70 points combined. And I was like a pig in shit. We made a reel over it. I was playing my dad in the playoffs. But Puka, he's an unbelievable player this year. And I mean, I think you were arguing saying he could be a first-round pick or a number 1 pick this year.
I truly believe, as we get down to those talks and we give our, way too early fantasy rankings, that's something that's in the cards for him, the 101.
Yeah. Now, so Puka Nacua takes on the best performance of the year, Week 16, semifinals. Now, the next topic or the next award we're giving out is to the waiver wire wonder of the year.
Wow.
These are guys that are basically undrafted players that were picked up at some point in the season, most likely, and they finished top 12 in their categories. Basically top 24.
Right.
So you had Rico Dowdle was one, finished RB 18, undrafted, really had a big impactful year once Chuba Hubbard went down. Kenneth Gainwell, RB 16, also came out of nowhere. We thought Jalen Warren, it was going to be all his backfield, and sure enough, Kenny came in and made some moves. Harold Fannin finished tight end 6, rookie tight end, commanded targets, and then you had Michael Wilson, wide receiver 10. Puma picked him up in the league, my league. That was a great.
Oh yeah. I remember I had him in your league, and I'm like, I'm desperate for wide receivers. Let me just take this schlub. Marvin Harrison is out. Guy ended up finishing a top 10 wide receiver of the year.
Crazy.
Overall, and just to get him where I got him, which was like for nothing. Now, why I say, for me, I was out of it in Mike's league, but I still had Michael Wilson, and I was still watching how he played on Sundays. This obviously will go into my, me drafting next year, my mental note of, hey, look, let me see what the Cardinals get in there. Obviously, new coach, they fired their coach, what quarterback situation they have. Maybe they keep Brissett. Draft a rookie, but Brissett would probably start the season. Well, he loves throwing to Michael Wilson. So that's somebody I could keep on my radar in a top maybe 6 round pick, to be my wide receiver 2, because honestly, he was a wide receiver 1 impersonating.
And after this year, so obviously none other than Michael Wilson will win the award for Waiver Wire Wonder. But you saw that once Jacoby Brissett went down, once Kyler Murray went down and Marvin Harrison went down, Jacoby Brissett played, gave him a lot of targets, was throwing the ball a lot because they were always in that negative game script.
And I always liked Michael Wilson, but it was like, where was he going to find the opportunity? And opportunity arose. I mean, this guy's a 3rd round pick.
That's what I was going to say, going forward.
In real draft. Like, he was a 3rd round pick. He wasn't really, anything. Other than like a second, on the depth chart, 3rd, wide receiver, slot receiver. And for Michael Wilson to come up huge for fantasy owners, because, whether I had him and I was out, there was somebody out there who had him and won a championship. So they came up big for them, and, keep Michael Wilson in the cards for sure.
People might draft him high next year. I will tell you personally, as of now, depending on what happens with the situation, I don't know how excited I am to draft him. I think he might go a little higher because everyone's going to remember this year.
Yeah.
You got to keep in mind, Harrison's coming back healthy. They might have new quarterback, new coach. Gannon's gone. So, regardless, I'm going to keep an eye on him. He's going to go drafted this time.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a little tidbit before we move on. Michael Wilson's on all my teams in every league. And
you got him in any dynasties?
Well, yeah. So now I'm thinking about keeping him.
You got to.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about.
You don't have
this particular league is a 2-keeper league. So I sold everyone like Bucky Irving and Joe Burrow for first round picks.
Nice. Actually, it's not a bad idea.
And I'm thinking of my 2 keepers being Blake Corum and Michael Wilson, which it sounds funny when you think about it, but then when you actually think about it, it's like, why not?
No, these 2 young guys had very productive years this year.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for the starters, they would be easily starters elsewhere or on their own team if Kyron went down or Marvin Harrison. But yeah, you're right, man. Michael Wilson, he's a guy to keep your eye on. Talented.
Yes.
Now we got the biggest letdown of the year.
And I could be a negative Nancy, but these guys put me in a bad mood, man. You had Brock Bowers finished as tight end 11. Now, you people out there might think, Brock Bowers, it's 11. Puma, what do you mean? But where you took Brock Bowers, people were taking him at the end of the 1st round, if not in the 1st round, beginning of the 2nd round. With that kind of draft day value, you're looking at someone that's a top 3, that's a onesie position. You set and forget.
Yeah.
But with injuries, Geno Smith in there, Kenny Pickett towards the end, it was god-awful in Vegas, and that's why they are getting a new coach as well, and they have the number 1 pick.
The return on investment was not good for Mr. Bowers.
No. Brian Thomas Jr., your boy, BTJ. The guy has the jersey, the T-shirt. I thought he was going to get an action figure. He probably has a poster in his child's room. And the guy just flopped. Talk about sophomore
slump for sure.
Oh my. Finished as wide receiver 42.
Despicable.
Jeez, bad taste in your mouth. And now with the re-sign of Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington emerging, I think like
Brenton Strange.
And
don't forget Travis Hunter's still there.
Travis Hunter, who didn't even play. I think they want to transition him more to defense going forward. It's
possibly
like that. But with all those factors emerging, honestly, I think he finds his way out of Jacksonville this offseason.
It's possible. People have talked about it, but he's still on that rookie contract. Like, why would they want to just
move on from him? Well, no, it's enticing to someone else, and you might get a first-round pick out of it. So, if you're not going to utilize him, you might as well get something for him. Lamar Jackson, finished as QB 20. Now, this is basically, more so because of injury with the back, but towards the back half of that season, I mean, there were like 5 weeks where he was having single digits, and it was terrible. If you guys didn't play in a 6-point passing touchdown league, I mean, Lamar Jackson killed you, because the one good thing about Lamar Jackson, as we've known throughout the years, is his legs.
Yep.
With no legs and Derrick Henry having those games, right, it took away. Other than week 1, what did you really have to hang your hat on with Lamar Jackson? Week 1, he exploded for like 40 points, against the Bills. But after that, everything just spiraled downhill. And QB 20, not enough. People were taking him in the 2nd, 3rd round. Disgusting.
And in total, he ended up missing four weeks.
But a guy that will run away with this award, Justin Jefferson, finished our wide receiver 21. People were taking him top 5, Mike, and he did not get you what you invested. You see, that's the biggest thing with wide receivers, that people don't really, they look at the name, but that's why I always lean more running back. And they have the flashy names, the wide receivers. But if their quarterback is out, let's say
who's throwing to him?
Who's throwing? He can't throw to himself, right?
Yeah.
RB, like, look at Bijan's. That's why I had said coming into the season in the summertime, Bijan was the safest player. Michael Penix was hurt. Bijan still finished top 3 with Kirk Cousins. So the running back's always going to get the ball. The wide receiver is more so on on the quarterback. Can he get him the ball? And obviously the Minnesota Vikings couldn't get Justin Jefferson the ball till week 18 when it didn't matter anymore.
Yep.
Hopefully for you guys. So finishing as the wide receiver 21, Justin Jefferson, you get our award for the biggest loser.
Yeah, and that's the one that we don't actually send the trophy to.
No, it's like coal in a box.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you know what? Next year we'll see. I'll tell you right now, I'm not putting him in my top 12 this year.
Mike, we had this discussion before. We got on air, and honestly, for me, he's not. I don't want to pick him till the end of the 3rd, maybe the 4th.
Yeah, without I'm not interested.
Honestly,
there'll be someone else available at that time.
Exactly, and it just not having the quarterback is just it kills you.
Unless something drastic happens in this offseason, like he goes to Cincinnati or Burrow goes there, which is not going to happen, by the way. I know you've seen the memes of that, where the AI photos showing him in a Vikings jersey, but in reality,
the only thing that I
there's
can
no
think
savior coming.
The only thing I can think is possible with Harbaugh out of Baltimore, maybe you give the house and you get Lamar Jackson in Minnesota, maybe, but that's wishful thinking. We have to go on the now.
Yeah, I kind of thought in that case with the Harbaugh thing, I thought they basically chose Lamar over Harbaugh because there seemed to be some chemistry problems over in Baltimore.
I think that it's just a changing of the guard. And listen, we would die for someone like that in the New York Jets.
Die.
But, but again, the standard is the standard, and they get so close but never get the cigar. Steal of the draft, my friend.
Yes.
Am I still on this, or you're taking over?
I'm here, right here. I'm here now.
Let's put on autopilot.
The steal of the draft. You got 4 candidates. Number 1, Mr. George Pickens, drafted in the 5th or 6th round, give or take. Finished wide receiver 5, even above CeeDee Lamb. We weren't expecting it, but big, he popped off big time. Chris Olave, Mr. Concussion. Everyone was worried about his injuries, head injuries. Drafted 9th, 10th round, finished wide receiver 6. Big-time league winner at the end of the season, had a couple multi-touchdown games. And you had Drake May, Mr. Drake May. Drafted 9th, 10th round, finished QB3, my personal favorite.
Call me maybe.
And then this was a gross one, but I had to include him in here because you had Travis Etienne, drafted in the 8th or 9th round.
Dog.
Justin, pay attention. Drafted 8th or 9th round, finished RB10. Travis Etienne finished a running back 1. Everybody was kind of, really down on him, including myself. So I'm sorry, Mr. Etienne. And in this case, I mean, me and Puma, I don't know, were we kind of debating this one?
Yeah, we never settled on this one.
I'll tell you who I think.
Okay, and then I'll tell you who I think.
Yeah, that's good. So
That's how it usually works.
Personally, I think I have to go Drake May because of the consistent production at such an important position that you were able to get later on, and he finished top 3 QB.
Yeah, no, I think that's very helpful. But honestly, I want to lean ETN, man. I think that ETN, I could have had, you see, the whole basis of fantasy, I feel like the nucleus is the skill positions, right? RB, wide receiver. So I could have still won a championship with a Jacoby Brissett or, a mid-tier quarterback, someone that just got me there, that had good matchups. But with ETN, you had a guy that was, look at what he did to the Jets that 1 week. Fucking 4 touchdowns. It was insane.
Drake May had 5 touchdowns versus the Jets.
I know, but I'm just trying to say that it's harder to find the running back versus the quarterback. There's a plethora of quarterback in the later rounds. For me, it's ETN because it's hard to find. ETN was some people's flex starters or an RB2. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, for me, nobody was banking that ETN would do that. I thought he would be a little bit better just because contract year, and I saw what Liam Cohen did with Bucky Irving the year prior to in Tampa. So he loves those running backs.
Loves them.
He loves using multiple running backs. That's why you see Tootin in there, and that's why Boring was, with Bucky. So to come down with it, I say we rock, paper, scissors for it.
They could be
you want to give
co-nominees. Yeah, co-winner, co-nominees.
This is so California. Yeah, all right, we'll give co.
I have to go. I'm going to say Drake May till I die. I love Drake May.
I know he's in MVP talks right now.
That's the thing. He's possibly the number one.
But when we're talking
MVP
about
candidate.
MVP, we're talking about steal of the draft. I feel like Drake May, honestly, with some leagues, probably wasn't even drafted, if you want me to be frank.
Who? ETN?
No, May.
Oh, Drake. And what, in fantasy?
Yeah.
Well,
there were some 10-man leagues.
Maybe, yeah.
10-man leagues, if I had a 15-round draft, he wasn't getting drafted.
Yeah, sometimes. Look, I drafted as my second quarterback.
Right. A lot of people, majority, I would say 90%, he was the QB2. Right. If you got a Lamar Jackson or whatever, you lucked out, you got May.
By week 5, I named him the official starter.
Right. Yeah. So for me, ETN, it's harder to find those skill guys, and when you find those diamond in the rough, and we know ETN was in the draft and was getting drafted. All
right, so there you have it. Your co-winners there for the steal of the draft, Mr. Drake May, and Mr. Travis Etienne Jr. So now we're going to go with, QB of the year, running back of the year, wide receiver of the year, tight end of the year. You start us off. Who do we got for the QB of the year?
So QB of the year, this is for 4-point?
So honestly, the numbers are the exact same for 4 and 6 point for your top 3 quarterbacks.
Okay. So QB of the year, we got first candidate, Josh Allen, first nominee. You got 21.45
points per game.
Points per game. Then you got Drake May, right? 20.7 points per game. And then you got Matthew Stafford, 20.61 points per game. So, with these top 3 candidates, who do you think should be the QB of the year?
I'll tell you, in the 4-point QB leagues, the quarterback of the year is Drake May. And in the 6-point QB leagues, the quarterback of the year is Matthew Stafford. How do you like that?
I like that. I could roll with that.
I'll tell you why I can't go Josh Allen despite him being number 1.
Me either.
Because Josh Allen underperformed in the playoffs like you wouldn't believe. He's had a couple games where he was in single digits.
This is more of an intangible pick rather than just off of the statistics.
And honestly, that's kind of where I'm seeing it, like the lack of consistency in that game or in his playoffs, in the matchups. Just you could see that somebody like Drake May or Matthew Stafford was guaranteed to give you 20 points a game, and that's what I need out of a quarterback.
Right. I felt like Josh Allen, when you needed him the most, maybe the beginning of the playoffs or getting near the playoffs. I remember that Thursday night Houston game.
Awful.
I mean, he was awful. Then he goes. There
was a game against Atlanta too.
Awful. No, that was in the beginning of the year. No, the game against the Browns. Awful because it was James Cook.
Yep, that was week 16.
Yeah, that's the semifinals. And then against Philly, how much he put up? Like
Philly
average.
still put out 23 points. Yeah, 23 points.
But what killed him was that Cleveland game. For me, it's Stafford all day long. I just feel like, being an MVP candidate, but look at the weapons he had, man. Like Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. I mean, Seattle ain't no defense to be laughed at, and he faced them twice and still put up north of 30 points every time. The Arizona Cardinals obviously have no defense, and San Francisco, he definitely lit up as well. So for me, it's Matthew Stafford, but you make a good argument with the 6-point versus the 4-point. I'll agree with you on that. Drake May is our 4-point.
The other bad thing that we didn't talk about with Matthew Stafford is in that last week 17 performance against Atlanta, he really underdelivered. Luckily he caught that touchdown at the end, or he threw that touchdown at the end of Puka, which kind of saved his fantasy day. But if you were starting him in the finals, I'm going to have to assume that you probably lost if you played Matthew Stafford. But again, look, I mean, these quarterbacks, these players that we have on our team aren't going to perform, top 3 every single week.
No, not at all.
To see the production that you got out of a guy like him, 36-year-old QB Matthew Stafford, I mean,
unbelievable.
Lights out.
I remember saying to you in the summertime, I'm like, I think this guy is going to win MVP.
We had it on camera.
And Mike laughed at me. He was like, no way, he's older, he's got a back. But I knew with them bringing in Devontae Adams, it was just a lot of weapons. Kyron Williams. And then they included, what's his name? Blake Corum. And then the tight ends. I mean, it's weapons on weapons. And I think you will see them going down the stretch here in the playoffs, putting up some points because of their MVP candidate. Let's move on.
So the fantasy running back of the year, number 1 candidate we have, or nominee, Christian McCaffrey, a.k.a. CMC, 24.51 points per game. Bijan Robinson, 21.81 points per game. Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs, 21.58 points per game. And Mr. JT Jonathan Taylor, 21.31 points per game. For me, it's a no-brainer. Christian McCaffrey is your running back of the year, fantasy running back of the year. Now, I have to say, he completely surprised me, number 1, and mostly a lot of other people who were petrified to draft him this season. But in the end, the guy finished with 440 opportunities. He had, how many touchdowns in total? 440 opportunities, 17 touchdowns, and his playoff weeks were out of this world, where he scored 32 in the semifinals and 28 in the championship week. He killed me personally and won this guy a trophy. Mr. Christian McCaffrey played every single game. I don't think you could pick anybody else. But by that wide of a margin, where he's averaging that many more points per game than these other guys.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to redo the draft again, the only one I'm taking over him is Bijan. Just because he's safer. Because what we know now, we didn't know back in August. But knowing what we know now, I'm on board with you, my friend. You ever seen the movie, because you're old enough, like myself. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you remember the red Corvette?
Yeah.
That's CMC.
He's the red Corvette. I
that thing looks sexy. It can literally win you some girls. It could make a party in your back seat. It could do everything you want, but it's very expensive.
Yeah, and the problem too that I had kind of with Bijan this year was the games where he would score single digits when they didn't really know what was going on, or he only had 11 touchdowns. You also saw Algier took so many goal line carries at times. I mean, granted, they did say, even Raheem Morris came out and said Bijan Robinson is the best player in the NFL. I mean, some of the games, you didn't really see it. That's why someone like Christian McCaffrey, to me, when I see consistency, 20 points a game, no matter what, every clip, 20 points, I mean, that's going to win you a league.
I'm going to go out on the limb and say our candidate for 2020 6, Jahmyr Gibbs. Just because, with Monty not being happy with his tote carries and, Gibbs is going to need a new contract. He's going to be the full workhorse going forward. I mean, you could interswap them with him and Bijan, the leaders in the clubhouse of youth and talent. But for this year, definitely all on board with CMC.
Oh, yeah. What do we got?
Wide receiver of the year. I'll take over here. So wide receiver of the year, we go back to our boy as a nomination, Puka Nacua, 23.44 per game. Then we got Jackson Smith and Jigba, 21.17 points per game. Jamar Chase, 19.6 per game. And then you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, 19.06 per game. Now, I feel like Amon-Ra, the sun god, fizzled out a little bit towards the end.
He was a little banged up, but he finishes top 3 every year for the last 3 years.
Oh, he's a dog. Jamar Chase, too, I feel like, he went 5 weeks without a touchdown, which was very rare. And Burrow was back.
Yep.
For me, no doubt about it, it's Puka Nacua. He takes home 2 awards here, my friend. What do you got to say?
Puka Nacua is the undisputed wide receiver 1 of the season.
I think he's the best receiver in football.
He's arguably the first pick of the draft for 2026. He scored the most in 2025. He's been proving us right since rookie year. I mean, he's unbelievable.
I remember, rookie year, someone was like, they put $90 of their fab on him, and he broke out that week 1.
That week 1, yeah.
And I'm like, what are they doing? This guy is we don't know much, and it ended up being the best decision ever by this owner in my keeper league. He has still kept him since then.
Wow, really?
What was that? 2023? 2023 or 2022? I think it was 23. He came on the scene, and the owner has kept him ever since. 3 seasons later.
I don't blame him. I mean, this last 3 weeks in his championship run, actually excluding week 17, so week 14, 35.7 points, then week 15, 27.9 points, and then week 16, the game we talked about earlier, 46.5 points. I mean, that is a total of 38 receptions and 4 touchdowns in those 3 games. I mean, that's why people won championships with him.
Yeah.
This is the type of guy
he will be the number 1 pick. Either him or a Jahmyr Gibbs. You could always interchange them, or Bijan because he's safer, but it's between those 3 for me.
And if you watch him too, I mean, how amazing he is.
Dude, he's unguardable.
He knows how to read the defense.
Dude.
And he catches everything. He's got great hands.
You know what he reminds me of?
Me?
No. Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, low-key Larry.
You could set him up anywhere and he'll catch anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
He's unbelievable, man.
Anything you throw, he will catch. And he is the better product of Cooper Kupp in the Sean McVay system.
Totally.
We thought Cooper Kupp was great in 2021. Oh my God, this guy obliterates him.
So then you got the tight end of the year. I mean, this was, without a doubt, we didn't even have any other nominees besides one because it didn't even make sense. But your tight end of the year is Trey McBride. he overlapped everybody, wait, what is it? So he surpassed everybody by a wide margin. Kyle Pitts followed him like 4 points less than him per game. Yeah. Trey McBride averaged 18.58 points per game. And even though you drafted him kind of in the third round, I guess like you were saying earlier, he kind of is a steal because he finished tight end 1 by a wide margin, like we said.
Right.
And he's arguably first-round draft pick this year.
Yeah, I had brought up the point to Mike that he could honestly be the steal of the draft. And Mike would probably say, well, Puma, people took him in the, mid to late second round. And I'm like, no. Sometimes you need something to prove that you did the right thing. Yeah. And it was a slam dunk pick. There were some people, honestly, that started their draft, Christian McCaffrey at 1, and then had to wait 24 picks to get another player, and their next player was Trey McBride. Well, think about if you had both of them on your team. You're holding one of these right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did, they had these guys. These were guys on championship teams. He had, just to make it known, as a tight end, he had 7 games over 20 points in full PPR leagues. That is unheard of. He was putting up wide receiver 1 numbers. He is the clear number 1 target over there in Arizona, and I don't care who they put at quarterback. They are going to run that offense through him. So to me, Trey McBride is hands down the undisputed fantasy tight end of the year, 2025, and maybe even again 2026.
I will mention a name out there that if he didn't get hurt, he would have surpassed all of them.
Tucker Kraft?
Yeah. That was a good one.
I had to say because I knew you were going to think I thought Bowers, but I knew to outsmart you. I'm like, wait a minute. Because that was my first reaction. I was like, he's talking about Bowers. And yeah, you're smart. Tucker Kraft, man.
No, Tucker Kraft, right. Especially where you got him draft day. You definitely got him 7th round if you waited for a tight end.
Yeah.
And you didn't want one of those top 2, Bowers or McBride or Kittle, so the top 3. So if you wanted to wait on tight end, Tucker Kraft was a great 7th or 8th round pick.
He was a real steal of the draft.
If he doesn't get hurt, I think he finishes, if not higher than McBride. But some guys to look out for in the future, just before we move on. A lot of people are making fun of this pick, but Colston Loveland.
Love him.
Mr. Love. Love Island. He is here to stay, and he does remind me of a Sam Laporta in that offense with Ben Johnson, who had Sam Laporta in Detroit. So watch out for him going forward. I think he could take this mantle 2 years from now. But right now, Trey McBride, he's our Travis Kelce.
I've given somebody advice because, of course, a lot of people reach out to us for advice, sit advice, whatever. Somebody had asked me about starting, who to start at tight end week 17, championship week. And she started Colston Loveland, stacked him with Caleb Williams. She had Oronde Gadsden, who put him to the side, Colston Loveland in.
That was a good pick.
And it won her a championship. The other team had Kittle, who waited all the way to the minute. She picked up Tonjes in a block to make sure she blocked him from playing somebody. So he went with Cole Kmet.
Was this that Sunday night game?
Yeah, that was championship week, 17.
He was rolling in 30 points.
I'll never forget that first touchdown that he scored. And that's the thing about him, is he's a deep threat. He's not just some regular tight end that catches little slant routes. Yeah, he goes deep. So
seams everything.
And he seems to be a
when we did our maybe this never aired, but we were doing like a scouting combine.
That was your guy.
That was my guy.
Oh yeah,
Colston Loveland.
He was your who to watch for tight ends.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting drafted 10th overall in the NFL draft.
Yeah,
Ben Johnson's offense.
I just saw the talent, and he just reminded me a lot of like a Zach Ertz back in the day.
Oh, younger Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. I'm not too crazy about the blocking, but who cares about that in fantasy? We're caring about the receiving, and this man has talent. Look out for him, especially if DJ Moore moves on. It's another target for Caleb Williams with Burden and Jawan Walker.
So now we got
what do we got?
The last but not least, fantasy MVP. And you heard their names a couple of times today. We got for the nominees Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, and Trey McBride. This was tough for me, man. It's between two guys.
I know where I'm going.
Puka Nacua?
Give it to him again. 3. He walks out of here with 3.
I think your fantasy MVP is Puka Nacua,
Dude,
a.k.a. Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua literally is a dog, you know, and I call him Pikachu, but still, like, he's just a dog, man. And when we say a dog, like, he literally runs every route, whether he could look like he's in the slot, whether he could look like he's on the outside, the X, the Y, the Z. I mean, he's playing all forms. And, I mean, let's not forget, I mean, I know this doesn't matter for fantasy, but as a real player, he's even greater because he can block, Mike.
Yeah,
he
he's
blocks.
tough,
And that
man.
Sean McVay run, you'll see this this weekend against the Panthers. He blocks for Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. So that is something that's underestimated in his game. And if you could get wide receivers that can block, my friends, he ain't never coming off the field.
Yeah, Puka Nacua has to be the hands-down, undisputed fantasy MVP of the 2025 season. He just to highlight it, he had 310 points overall, 129 receptions on 166 targets, and he had 1,820 yards in total with 11 touchdowns.
How many championship rosters was he on? Or
He was-
final, or
he
top
was-
2?
they said
I know
he
he
was
was
the
on
number
top 2. I
2.
didn't want to
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah, dude, it hurt me, man. You know, for me to have Drake May, Puka Nacua,
All his boys.
and JSN all on the same team and still lose the
Where was
championship.
BTJ? On the bench?
No, I didn't have him in that league. That was a different league. So JSN, Puka, and Drake May, and Chase fucking Brown. I had
yeah,
all
you did
these
have
guys.
Chase.
Harold
Yeah,
Fannin.
all your
I mean,
boys.
Oh, God. Jalen Warren. Anyway, listen. It happens. This is why you can't get upset. If you ask my wife, she saw me really, really emotional. But
Yeah, it happens. You know what? And then what did I tell you? What was the message I told you? I was like, I said to Mike, I said, listen, I want you to feel this way because it will feel even better when you do host one of these up, because you knew how long it took you to get there, and you think about more the suffering than actually winning the damn thing.
Oh, man.
I mean, if I could tell you how many times that I think more of the losses than the wins, I'd be a millionaire. But
man, it is.
yeah, as time moves on, we will move on, and you know, we get smarter, we get better, and we adapt.
This was a great fucking episode, man.
It was great, and I'm happy to do it with you all the time. And the boys in the back there, Justin,
Dude, get off each other. What are you guys doing back there?
Lenny Fournette over there with the chef's hat.
We should give a shout out to Mr.
Yeah.
Justin LeBoy and Len Moran. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah,
real
come
quick.
on, how can we
These
not?
guys always sticking
The
with
guys
us.
are always here for us, you know.
The whole fantasy season, listening to us bitch and moan.
Yeah, I know half of us think we're the main character in our own brains,
Yeah.
especially me. But no, I gotta give some love to our dudes back there.
No, honestly, they really, I feel like they stuck around and they learned a lot this year, especially Len. He even went to a couple playoff matchups himself.
Okay.
So, you know, he got into fantasy. We're going to have to get Justin molded in this year.
Yeah. Baptism by fire, you know.
He'll have a team. Baptism by fire.
Just throw him in there, you know, like a super flex.
Get him in there.
Super flex dynasty league.
And if you guys keep listening, one of these days, this type of trophy could be yours. So keep listening to us. We got next week coming, top 12, way too early fantasy rankings.
Never too early for fantasy.
I like our fantasy rankings. They're a little different, mine versus his, but they're, you know, similar and they're sexy. I think that we got a good eye on it right now.
And, you know, if we could get a tape back of our boys that are swimming with the fishes. We did not have A.J. Brown on here, but, yeah, that's one of the ones that we definitely hit the nail on the head with, along with some others.
We had to do like a recap episode of that. Like talk about all the guys we got right, and then we did get some wrong.
Of course, we're human.
Like BTJ, I got way wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what did I get wrong? I'm not trying to be showing off. I'm just trying to think. You would remember.
Yeah, let me think of one real quick.
Bucky Irving, I really thought, but if we want to pin that on me because of
I'll tell you
health,
which one.
Which one?
He got Scam Darnold wrong. He basically said that.
Sam
Darnold
yeah.
was gonna get the bag and he was gonna blow.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Darnold, he was Darnold Trump, man.
Well, let's say he didn't honestly finish, like, he wasn't that
like
modest of a
mid-tier.
season.
He was like,
thank God for the Seattle defense, or they would be
yeah,
you know,
like,
the
because
bottom of the division.
like Sam Darnold, honestly, is better for real football.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But in terms, because like he's a game manager.
I was gonna say, is he what do they call it? Is he a playmaker or is he a game manager?
And I'll tell you right now, half of these quarterbacks in the league are all game managers. Right now, the three guys for me that are playmakers, three, and there's only three right now: Josh Allen, Stafford, and Drake May, your boy.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say Joe Burrow.
No, he's game manager. Game manager.
Oh, you hear that, Joey B? Listen,
game manager.
Show us a 2026.
Dude, I need somebody. I need to see something. I need to see something. I can't have you getting sacked by the Browns.
Well,
I need to see something.
That was a direct shot. So Puma versus Burrow beef right now. I'm gonna have to wear my Burrow jersey for the next episode.
Yeah,
so
maybe we'll get more views off of it.
Guys, remember, like, comment, and subscribe before you're the ones who end up sleeping with the fishes. I am Mr. Mike Meals.
Joey Puma.
We love this fantasy shit, man. We'll see you soon.
Master your game.